Hello, CJ. Congratulations on being drafted. So just your initial thoughts on joining the Trailblazers, and I'm curious if you worked out with Portland or had talked to the front office at all prior to being drafted.
One more time. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. First, just your general thoughts on joining the Trailblazers, and second, did you work out for Portland, and did you have any contact with the front office prior to this election?
I think it's a great place to be, a great place to go, a great franchise who has a history of developing their second round picks and keeping them in the NBA. So I wouldn't want to be any other place. I get to stay in the Pacific Northwest. So, Portland would have been probably my first pick if I could have asked to go somewhere, so that's just a blessing. What was the second part of your question?
Did you work out for Portland in advance of the draft, and what was your conversations with the front office?
Honestly, I don't think that I had too much conversation with them. I think more so they were kind of talking to my agent, but I didn't get to work out with them. Obviously, with the Zoom calls and stuff, there was no in-person, workouts for the most part. So, yeah, I pretty much just going into the draft, I had no clue. And then kind of later in that second round, obviously, I got an idea that I was going to Portland.
All right. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
The next question is coming from Aaron Fentress with the Oregonian.
Hey, CJ, a couple questions for you. One, how do you think your game is going to translate in the NBA? And then two, your shooting percentages dropped from your freshman year to your sophomore year, which is kind of unusual. What was going on there?
What was the first question? Sorry about that.
Oh, just how do you think your game, your style of play is going to translate in the NBA?
I believe that I'm versatile and I can affect the game in different ways. I don't need the ball in my hands to affect the game. So I feel that being able to be a knockdown catch and shooter, and also being able to drive closeouts, and then being able to be effective on defense, getting deflections, and then just also, trying to be a solid defender and get stops. So I feel like being versatile and being able to do those different things is going to, get me on the floor.
And then I was just curious, your shooting percentages fell a little bit from your freshman year to your sophomore year. Was that just a matter of defense's focus on you more, or were you just off a little bit? What happened there?
I believe it has something to do with, when I tested the waters this past year, some of the teams told me that I needed to change a little, my shot a little, tighten up my mechanics. And so that was really a process that I've been doing, kind of the past year and a half of trying to alter my jump shot and become a little more efficient. And I think that's why there was a drop. If you kind of look at it as the season goes on, my percentages increase. So that also can be attributed to maybe the line being pushed back a little. But I honestly don't feel like that had much to do with it. But yeah, I just feel like it was me trying to alter my shot because that's the feedback I got from teams. And then also I feel like that's why my free throw percentage increased.
Next question is coming from Jamie Hudson with NBC Sports Northwest.
Hey, CJ. So I got a chance to talk with your former coach, Ernie Kent, who obviously recruited you at Washington State. And he talked about your competitive nature, your will to win. So how would you describe that part of your game?
I feel like it's a mindset, it's an approach, and not everybody's competitive. I feel like, everybody likes to ask that question, do you like to win or do you hate to lose? And I'm kind of one of those guys that just hates to lose, so I just feel like that's something that I showed, my coaches, Coach Kent as well, throughout just my collegiate career and in the practices and just throughout being able to be around them. And that's just when I got to be able to put that on display.
Next question is coming from AJ McCord with Coin 6 News.
Hey, CJ. Congratulations on getting drafted. First off, high maintenance TV request. Can you turn your phone horizontally?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. It just works better for television for us, unless you're locked.
Yeah.
Actually, okay, sorry. Go vertical because it's locked, I guess. So, okay. So that's not my real question. My real question, obviously, this was an off season like none other. What have you been doing this summer to to get in shape as much as you can and make sure you stay ready when everything that normally would be at your disposal hasn't been?
Yeah, so I kind of got to go through, obviously it was a very extensive process. Like, it was a very long pre-draft process for us. And I got to be able to be in Las Vegas with a number of other draft picks and people who, you know, got selected and went undrafted as well. But I got to be there with Joe and work out with him and his staff and a bunch of other draft players for about the last 3 months or so. I was there, and it was just a great time. I was able to be in the gym consistently every day. I had no problems with access to the weights and to the court. And so it was just obviously the state that the country was in at the time, you know, not everybody's able to do that and afford it, that luxury. And so we just having that gym space and having that time to, you know, get better and just play against each other even in that time. It was great. It was great to be there with Joe and Impact.
And have you heard from any of the current Blazers since you got your name called last night? And if so, who have you heard from and what did they say?
You know, I kind of haven't been, I kind of got a lot to go through on my phone. It's pretty much off the hook. You know, it's kind of hard to really see who's, you know, reaching out all the time. But I don't know if any of them have reached out yet.
Next question is coming from Ann Peterson with the Associated Press.
Hey, CJ, thank you so much for doing this. I wanted to ask first, what went into your decision to leave the Cougs early? What kind of indication did you get about where you might be going in the draft? And also, what is the thing that you're most looking forward to about playing in the NBA? Yeah,
so coming into the draft, you know, I really didn't know where I would be selected, if I would be selected. The projections that were put upon me were, you know, late second round to undrafted. And a lot of the people who, you know, were making these mock drafts left me off of them. So I think that the media made it out to be that I was going to go undrafted, or just kind of the rankings and based on all that stuff, based on all the mock drafts. So going into it and based on my decision, I just I've always believed in myself, and I have a great, you know, community of people around me who believe in me. So really that process was, you know, I felt that it was time. I felt that I was ready. Last year, you know, I decided to go back to school, but this time around, you know, I kind of just had a different feeling in my stomach and just kind of my gut feeling. Another part to it.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to most about being in the NBA?
Just being able to compete and play against and with some of the best players in the world. It's just a blessing. It's a dream come true, you know. So I think I'm just looking forward to being able to be a part of a team and be a part of a franchise and play in the NBA.
All right, the next question is coming from Nick Krupke with KPTV.
Hey, CJ, welcome. You must have been like eight years old when the Sonics moved to Oklahoma. So I'm not sure what you recall from the Blazers-Sonics rivalry, but where were the Blazers on your radar as a kid growing up, being so close to NBA City when you didn't have one for the majority of your life growing up?
I've always looked at the Trailblazers and loved the team. I mean, just because of, you know, Garfield legend, Trailblazer legend, Brandon Roy, who has been a coach in the Metro League these last few years. Growing up, you know, hearing stories about him and seeing his legacy that he left behind and that he's continuing to live, it was just inspiring. And so I've always been, you know, watching the Trailblazers. Obviously, you guys are great. We're a great team right now. But yeah, that the Trailblazers have been a team that I've loved since I was a kid, since I was young. And, you know, obviously, that's where Brandon Roy plays. So I've always, you know, I've watched his highlights. I'm going to watch them actually after we get off this call. So
pretty weird to say we when talking about the Blazers now.
Yeah, I had to adjust what I was saying, you know, because kind of thought back about what I said.
What's your favorite Cougar cheese?
My favorite Cougar cheese? You might have to ask my grandmother. I usually just go and get her orders from there.
We can go right across the river, Wazoo, Vancouver, and get you hook up, man, at Cougar Gold Camp for Thanksgiving. Welcome. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right, next question is coming from Orlando Sanchez with KGW.
Congratulations, man. Welcome to Portland. Similar question to the last one, and that is, how excited are you to be able to stay in the Pacific Northwest? What does that mean to your family to know that you're going to be in this area still?
I'm super excited. I think my family loves it. Obviously I love it. I don't have to be too far away from them, and they can come and visit me very easily. So it's great to still be in the Pacific Northwest because, this is where I've grown up. Always growing up, you have those multiple tournaments down in Portland for AAU. So basically growing up, you didn't have a tournament in Seattle, it was going to be in Portland. And there's a lot of rivalries growing up that I have, a lot of love. A lot of good friends that I have. And so, one of my former teammates, Isaac Bonton, is from Portland. So I've been kind of talking to him about that, but he's pretty excited for me. And yeah, it's just been crazy, to be able to stay in the Pacific Northwest. There's obviously not a team closer to my home city, Seattle. And so it's just a blessing.
And when you heard your name called, was there that moment where you're like, wow, I can't believe this is happening? And to make it Portland, like that's gotta be a trip.
Yeah, so actually I got the call and, it hadn't hit me yet. And I was holding it together, kind of playing it cool. And one of my best friends growing up and still to this day, PJ Fuller, had called me. And I had just looked at him kind of on the phone and started losing it, and really just tears of joy because, growing up, that's what we dreamed of, and that's what we've always talked about and what we wanted to achieve, so growing up. And then to get the call from him, it made me really emotional. And I really couldn't contain all the joy, all the feelings that were coming out of me.
Next question is coming from Brenna Green with KREN in Spokane.
Hi, CJ. You become the first Coug drafted since Klay Thompson. Just how crazy is that for you to think about?
Man, I think it's crazy for me, but, just crazy for Coug Nation as well. I feel like I'm representing them. I'm representing Cougs all across the country. So I feel like, it's a blessing to be able to be a Coug, be a part of the family, and to be able to be drafted.
And just, a great night for Washington players in general. You're one of 3 Seattle area players who got the call last night. Just how exciting is that for you as well?
Super exciting. I was kind of going through the first round of the draft and getting towards the end. I kind of got just a new energy going into the second round, seeing both of them get drafted. I was able to be with Malachi Flynn down at Impact, for the last couple months as well. We were getting into Pilates together as well. And it was I was super excited to see their names get called, and it was just growing up and obviously playing with and against Jaden McDaniels and Malachi Flynn. I mean, obviously all of our dreams are coming true tonight, and we still got a lot to prove.
All right, next question is coming from Casey Holdall with trailblazers.com.
CJ, have you had a chance to talk contract yet? Do you know the nature of your contract? Is it guaranteed? Is it two-way? Have you gotten to any of that part of the draft process yet?
No, my agent is taking care of that. We're going to be getting through that this weekend. So, yeah, my agent is going to be working through that for me. And, yeah, we're going to get that figured out real soon.
All right, that'll wrap us up. Thank you again, CJ, and congratulations.
All right, thank you.